Hey guys, since we're meeting in backyards for shepherd groups this week, I thought I would record our Gather as One video from my backyard. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the second half of the first verse of the hymn, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. It goes like this: streams of mercy, never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. We're talking about mercy. So I thought I would kick it off with a few definitions. First, mercy is compassion or forbearance shown especially to an offender, meaning someone who's done something wrong, or someone in the power of another. Second, mercy is a blessing that is an act of divine favor or compassion. So mercy is something that comes directly from God. And third, it's compassionate treatment of those who are in distress. So think of the poor, think of the hungry, think of the refugee, how we can show compassion to them. For us as Christians, we begin to understand mercy and how God is merciful to us when we read the stories of the Old Testament. We read about how God is merciful in calling a people as his own, how God redeems them and delivers them from oppression and even forgives them. I wanted to read to you a few verses from Psalm 103. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. God will not always accuse, nor will he keep his anger forever. God does not deal with us according to our sins, nor repay us according to our iniquities. That's the very definition of mercy, I think. The Old Testament, remember, was written in Hebrew, and we read the English translation of that. And in the Old Testament, there are several different words that are translated into English as mercy. Some of them include a word for kindness, a word for compassion, a word that's special to God and means the combination of love and kindness, loving kindness, and also a word that is also translated as gracious. When we get to the New Testament, in the person of Jesus Christ, we see mercy embodied and offered for us, especially on the cross. But in the beginning of the Gospels, when Jesus is alive and traveling throughout Galilee, we often see people approach him and beg him for mercy. And this mercy comes in the form of the healing of a disease, the forgiveness of sins, acceptance, feeding the hungry. This mercy is important. And the New Testament has one word that it primarily uses when it is describing mercy or translating mercy, and that's eleos, to have compassion for and or pity upon. To sum it up, y'all, we do not deserve God's mercy at all. But just like the hymn proclaims, God's mercy toward us never ends. It is like a stream that ever flows. It is like the waves that always reliably crash into the shore. It's like a well that never runs dry. So tonight we're going to explore mercy a bit more in our shepherd groups. You're going to think about how you experience God's mercy day in and day out. It might be in the form of parents whom God has blessed you with that provide for your needs and give you a safe place to be you and to rest each night. It might be in the form of a friend who has forgiven you for something horrible you've said. Mercy is a gift from God, and it's something that demands our grateful praise in return. In just a moment, Lauren is going to read to you a parable of Jesus. It's a story where we are shown how mercy both does and does not show up in the world. Blessings on your time together tonight.
We're going to read Matthew 18:23 through 33. For this reason, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his slaves. When he began the reckoning, one who owed him 10,000 talents was brought to him, and as he could not pay, his lord ordered him to be sold, together with his wife and children and all his possessions, and payment to be made. So the slave fell on his knees before him, saying, "Have patience with me, and I will pay you everything." And out of pity for him, the lord of that slave released him and forgave him the debt. But that same slave, as he went out, came upon one of his fellow slaves, who owed him 100 denarii, and seizing him by the throat, he said, "Pay what you owe." Then his fellow slave fell down and pleaded with him, "Have patience with me, and I will pay you." But he refused. Then he went and threw him into prison until he would pay the debt. When his fellow slaves saw what had happened, they were greatly distressed, and they went and reported to their lord all that had taken place. Then his lord summoned him and said to him, "You wicked slave, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me. Should you not have had mercy on your fellow slave, as I had mercy on you?"